Hello everyone, welcome you all for the new lecture series in the subject Machine Learning with Python. I am Ramya, working as an assistant professor in the Department of EEE at SNS College of Technology. Today we are going to start with this topic K-means clustering, which is under the unsupervised learning algorithms. In the previous lecture series, we have discussed about the supervised learning algorithms, and today we are going to discuss about the next part of the machine learning type, that is the unsupervised learning. Especially in that, we are going to deal with the clustering. First, let me explain what is K-means clustering. This algorithm, which is an iterative process, that means it divides the unlabeled dataset into K different clusters. The name K, which represents the K-means clustering algorithm. So each dataset belongs to only one group that should have the similar properties. Okay, how this algorithm will work? It works based on the centroid, which means where the cluster, that is the each cluster is associated with that particular centroid point. The main aim of this algorithm is to minimize these sum of the distance between the data points and their corresponding clusters. So by applying this algorithm, we can minimize the distance between same data points. And one more thing, the value of k that should be important in this algorithm, and it should be predetermined in this algorithm. This k-means clustering will perform two tasks. One is it determines the best value of k center points or the centroids by an iterative process. And the second thing is assign each point to the closest k centers, which means those data points which are near to the particular k centers, which create a clusters. Next, whatever we have discussed in the previous slide as a statements, in this slide we can able to see that it is a image format. Before K means we have the set of data points which all represents in the green color, which might have the similar properties, which can be grouped into a cluster by means of K-means, where we are grouping it based on the centroid. So in the first picture, we can able to see that before K-means, we have some data points which are represented in the same color. But after we are applying the K-means algorithm, we have the same data points which are clustered together by means of same centroids and which has similar properties over this each clusters. So we can able to see that one blue cluster and green and a black one. So what are the main objectives of this k-means clustering algorithms? Previously we have discussed, but we have three main points. One is grouping similar data points, which means we can identify the patterns among those groups and we can share the same characteristics together in that same group of data points. Second, main objective of this k-means clustering is minimize the cluster distance. That is the distance between the clusters, that is the same data points, we can close as possible as to the each others, which are measured by the distance formula. In the previous algorithms, we have discussed some of the distance formula, especially here we are using the Euclidean distance formula. And the next thing is maximizing between the cluster distance. This is conversely the K-means algorithms tries to maximize the separations between the clusters, especially the data points from the different clusters should be far apart from the cluster distinct from each others. This is the workflow of this k-means algorithms. Let me explain the flow of this algorithms. We are starting the algorithms and we have the inputs. Those input parameters should have the k and n of the clustering process. So we have to initialize the k clustering centers. So the number of k should be initialized and assign each data points to the closest classes. Again, recalculate the centers of the clusters. Once the clusters are calculated, it determines whether the calculated result satisfies the condition for stopping the iterations. If it is yes, go to the next step. If not, again go back to the assign each data set to the closest classes. Again follow the fourth step, recalculate the centers of the cluster. Again we are checking for the satisfaction conditions. If it is S, we are proceeding with the record the corresponding informations of clay clustering centers. Then we are displaying the output of the clustering results. which ends the process. So once the workflow starts from the k values, we have to cluster and we have the data points to be assigned to the nearest center, then calculate the cluster by means of distance formula, and then check the conditions. If it is S, proceed to the next step. If not, again go back to the second. There is a third step, again assign it, then finally proceed the clustering results. So whatever we have seen is the flow chart. Here we have mentioned in the wordings. So first thing, we have to select the number of Ks, which decides how many clusters to be in our data sets. So once the K values are set, the random K points or the centroid to be selected and assign each data points to their closest centroid. Then calculate the variance, that is the distance. Then if it satisfies, go to the final step. If not, repeat from the third step and assign the closest data set. Then finally, our model is ready. I hope this introductions of k-means clustering will be easily understandable by my explanation, and along with an example we can discuss in the next video. Thank you.